lightning boss for the Season 3 Continental Challenge. And this boss is similar to Stegamuffin. He's got a very similar kit, except instead of, like accuracy penalty, healing prohibition, buff prohibition, those types of debuffs, all of his debuffs that he puts up are damage debuffs. He does attack penalty, crit rate penalty, crit damage, and attack speed penalty. And so we want to use a character that we can be okay with getting those debuffs. And I felt like Shaltar was the best option here. So, of course, we're doing lightning damage. Dauntless is really the best for doing single target lightning damage. So we're bringing in Shaltar here because two of those debuffs, the crit rate and the crit damage debuff, have no effect on him. He doesn't even crit. When you're using the Vile Link, he can't even crit. And we don't build him with any crit, we just build him with attack and enlightenment. So he comes up here with the tank, and those are the two that are mainly going to be getting targeted by this AoE. Now, there is one thing to keep in mind. The boss, he targets the ally or the enemy with the highest attack. In this case, we have Shaltar with the highest attack. But if there is a scenario where he puts that on someone else, maybe Vani, maybe Yagnats over here, then he always tends to ult in favor of hitting that target for some reason. So if his battle skill mark goes on Vani, he's always going to ult in a way where he can hit Vani. I don't know why his coding is like that, but so make sure that you keep that in mind. And that's why we actually have Vani up here, is because when she does her battle skill and she gains this attack up, and simultaneously the attack penalty from the boss is on Shaltar, that will push Vani's attack above Shaltar's, making her get targeted by the battle skill and making her get marked. So this battle skill basically marks the target, and then every auto attack that the boss does will also have a chance to apply these debuffs. And so we don't want that happening because her damage is crit based. A lot of those debuffs are going to reduce her damage. Instead of 50% of them being negative, it's 100% of them are negative. So we ideally want to have Shaltar have the highest attack the whole fight, be the only one getting targeted by the boss, and we do that by stacking attack. So normally you would build Shaltar with Enlightenment, but to keep things consistent, we are instead going attack rune and attack percentage body armor, still looking for Enlightenment on the gear, but trying to get a lot of attack percentage. We are here at 5,700 attack, whereas Vani over here has like, I don't know, 3,500 or something. And we're also, that's another reason why we're not going any big attack percentage artifacts on Vani or Yagnats. The Manicore statue is pretty good on Vani. She does a pretty hard-hitting battle skill, but we went for the Silver Star Horseshoe, which gives no attack percentage, just flat attack and crit damage, and we try to get some decent crit rate to make this valuable. And also the attack speed it gives every once in a while is pretty good on her because she gains bonus damage on every third basic attack. So both of our artifacts on our non-Shaltar DPSs here are attack speed based. We got Dancing Gyro, gives attack speed, and this one also gives attack speed because the more attacks that go off, the more damage Shaltar does. He does derivative damage based on the amount of attacks that go off in the fight. So we want a lot of attack speed on people. And here we have our tank also, again, with another attack speed artifact. So the reason why is Lydia gives a shield every 5th basic attack. So if you build her with a lot of attack speed, she's going to be giving those shields more often, helping to keep Shaltar alive. And then another reason why we're using her instead of some other tanks is because she is able to do massive heals with the Mona Lisa set if you stack HP. So you already want to be stacking HP for the shields. So then you double down, stack a bunch of HP, use a healing set, and believe it or not, we're able to get by here, reaching 30 million, surviving pretty much the whole time. I think we die like maybe with 30 seconds left or something. A couple of our DPS might die with like 30 seconds left. But we survived the whole run with no real healer. This team has no dedicated healer. It's just all Mona Lisa from Lydia, shields from Lydia, and then we're also using another Mona Lisa set here on Iola because she's probably the lowest DPS here, so we can afford to run this. And yeah, we have Shaltar with Enlightenment, attack, trying to get really high attack. We have the big Mona Lisa set here with a ton of HP, stacking HP on every piece that we can get. Also, getting attack speed here on the runes is nice. And then using the wine for the consistent 45% attack speed. With Vani, we've got, try to get high crit rate, crit damage, and use the horseshoe. And then with Yagnats over here, we're putting the attack speed artifact that has 35% more attack, which is not too much to push him over Shaltar's attack. And again, we're going a bunch of crit rate, crit damage, and attack. And on both Vani and Yagnats, we're going for the attack speed set because the more attacks, the more damage that Shaltar is going to be putting out. And he's the highest DPS in the team by a long shot. So yes, we could build them with like the crit damage set, but then our Shaltar would get less attack procs, and so he would do less damage. So I felt like overall it was just more worth. And since these guys mainly their damage is from auto attacks anyway, getting the extra damage or the auto attacks ignore defense seemed like a good idea. So yeah, Yagnats and Vani with the attack speed set, and then lastly, yep, attack accuracy. Mona Lisa set here, applying our Witch's Remains. So let me go over the timings. So the timings are pretty simple. You have Shaltar and Vani ulting at the same time every 20 seconds to give their buffs. Yagnats is a low cooldown character, so we just leave him on auto. Same thing with Lydia. We just want her ulting as often as possible. We don't even have her scrolled here because, I would assume people wouldn't have her scrolled. So this team gets the job done even without scrolls in her. Of course, it'll do better if you scroll her because she'll be able to get this ult off more often. But then lastly, the main timing that matters is we want Iola to be ulting at least 2 seconds before the boss. So the boss ult does damage for 8 seconds. And if you ult 2 seconds before the boss does, then you are covering the full 8 seconds of the boss damage. And we're also, able to have 2 seconds of breathing room if we don't have enough skill haste. So her cooldown is 18.1. I got a lot of skill haste on her to get it that low. But if you can't get it that low with like 56 skill haste, that's okay. Because the 2 seconds of breathing room means that even by the end of the fight, hopefully, she won't be ulting after the boss, but she'll still be ulting before the boss ults. So yeah, try to get her down to 18 seconds if you can. If you can't, that's okay. You can move this timer back like to 15, and it'll eventually get in sync by the later rounds. So yeah, just try to have her around 18 seconds. If you have more, just, again, 15 seconds, 14 seconds even, depending on your cooldown. As long as the attack penalty is happening in the later rounds, roughly 2 seconds, or actually it doesn't really matter. Just as long as it's before the boss ults, you're good. So try to have it at 18 seconds, but you don't need it. So yeah, that's the team, 30 million. So you have room to grow here, room to work with, 8 million damage. And yeah, hopefully this team can help you guys get 22 million. Another thing to mention though is this team's pretty interchangeable. So if you had Nimbus, the epic Dauntless guy, you could throw him in here for Vani. If you had Hog leveled up for some reason instead of Vani, you could throw him in. Pretty much any combination of ranged Dauntless characters using Shaltar, Iola, and Lydia will be able to get the same results. So yeah, hope this helps you guys out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, peace.